Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be analyzing the characters and the roles that each character play in the novel No Longer at Ease by Chinua Achebe. Please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so that when the video on the themes in the novel is uploaded, you will get notified. We are going to start with the major character and the protagonist of the novel, Obi Okonkwo. The protagonist of the novel No Longer at Ease, Obi Okonkwo, is a young man born in Igbo in the eastern Nigerian village of Umuofa. He was well educated and eventually sent to study law in England. A course of study he eventually changed to English. He stays in England for nearly 4 years, at times longing for the warm weather of home and all the other nostalgic qualities his memory supplies him during long winters abroad. Nevertheless, his arrival is less than what he has expected. Because he is educated, he is given a European post and the kind of work that European people do, and he works in an office whose ethics he finds repulsive. He stands firmly against the bribery that goes on and is opposed to his boss, a very old white and English colonial man named Mr. Green. Obi finds himself in a constant battle between tradition of the world into which he was born, that of the village, and his traditional African root, represented by the Umuofa Progressive Union, and the convention of a changing world, where he studied his university education in Great Britain. So, Obi finds himself at the beginning of a generation of change, caught between two worlds. He is unable to marry the woman that he loves because she is considered an outcast, which in Igbo language it is regarded as Osu, and the love of his life was called Clara. So, though Obi claims to want to marry Clara anyway, because by the time he has children, the world will have changed and it will not matter, just as it does not matter now that his father is a convert to Christianity, a conversion that was once quite scandalous. Still, Obi loses his fiancée, his mother, and finds himself in a serious debt throughout the novel. Of the novel, he must pay back his scholarship, which was given to him as a form of loan, and he is responsible for sending money home to his parents. Eventually, Obi break under all of his pressure and give in to the bribery he had stood against so idealistically. But he does not give in without guilt. At the end, he even claimed to be finished with bribe right before he is caught. Somehow, it is too late, and his position of being caught between two shifting worlds becomes almost impossible. Obi's birth name is called Obiajulu in Igbo language, which means the mind at last is at rest. The mind at last is at rest. That is his birth name. And this name is a looming irony, considering the title of the novel, which is no longer at ease. And the birth name's meaning is the mind at rest. The mind at last is at rest. Or my mind is at rest now. So you can see the contrast between the birth name and the title of the novel. So Obi is at ease in both of his cultural experience. He lies in the middle of a difficult situation, whether to go with his parents who oppose marrying Clara because he's Osu, or he should embrace his Western culture of getting married to any woman he loves without considering the background. Another character is Clara Okeke. Obi first meet Clara at a dance in England. He is so beautiful that Obi becomes awkward around her and continuously steps on her toe. She doesn't dance with Obi again. Then, by coincidence, they both take the same boat home from England to Nigeria. As a nurse, Clara goes around administering medicine to seasick patients, and she seems like an angel to be. Obi quickly initiates a relationship. Clara is a practical girl, not to mention smart and hardworking, very hardworking girl. Though she's Igbo, she's educated in the Western tradition and lives a modern lifestyle. However, Clara seems to lack the disdain Obi has for traditional culture. Every fault Obi has, Clara counterbalances it because Clara still respects the culture of the people. Unlike Obi, who is now more civilized or more westernized and disregard every vestige of the Igbo traditional culture. So there has been something wrong with someone who seems too perfect, right? Now, you see, Clara was right when she first told Obi that Obi didn't really love her. And she will regret giving in to his flattery. Soon, we discover she has a secret. Her secret is culturally specific, something only another Igbo will care about. She's an Osu, which means an outcast, part of a social caste forbidden to marry because one of her ancestors was dedicated to a god. They are considered taboo. As Isaac pointed out, Isaac Okonkwo, the father of Obi, pointed out that marrying her will be like marrying a leper, somebody who has leprosy. So once Clara admits this to Obi, she tries to break up with Obi. She says it is not fair to keep the relationship going. She doesn't want to come between Obi and his family. Though Clara was educated in England and probably wonders about the justice of her taboo status, she never voices those thoughts aloud. Instead, it is clear that she understands how deeply this tradition runs. She knows that Obi's parents will never accept her as a daughter-in-law, even though they are Christians and should, theoretically. But they disagree. They don't want Clara to be there. Clara is so aware that they will never allow her to be their daughter-in-law. So Clara's parents are Christians too. But that hasn't changed their status as Osus or the fact that they are outcasts. Even in the church, they were still regarded as Osu. Though Clara keeps trying to break up with Obi because of this fact, and Obi keeps stubbornly refusing to be broken up with her, the relationship demand is clear, at least to her, that it's not going to lead to marriage. She's just sorry in the end that she didn't do something about it before she ended up pregnant. And that is what makes her so bitter. When Obi returns from his family's house after breaking the news that he is engaged to Anosu, he broke the news to his father and his mother. So Clara understands that their relationship is over, even though Obi only tells her that they should lay low for a while. She understands even the unsaid. What Obi did not say, she understands it. She could handle the breakup when she knew it was about family, but after the abortion, she isn't interested in seeing Obi ever again. Though Clara allows Obi to arrange the abortion for her, it is not clear if she wants to go through with it. And I'm certainly sure through her body language that she doesn't want to do it, but it becomes a necessary evil because there's going to be no marriage between them. And having a child outside marriage is another form of social stigma in the Igbo tradition. So, however, it is obvious that she doesn't forgive Obi for it. When the doctor suggests that they get married instead of doing abortion, Clara says sullenly and with bitterness, I don't want to marry him. By then, she's figured out or decided that Obi is not a great guy. The abortion goes badly and Clara spent weeks in the hospital recovering. Though Obi tries to get back together with her, sending her a note saying they can work this out, Clara returns the note to Obi without opening it because he does not want to hear anything from Obi again. Another character in the novel is Hannah Okonkwo. Hannah Okonkwo is Obi's mother. She's obedient to her husband Isaac Okonkwo's decree that they forsake certain Igbo traditions because of their Christian beliefs. But it is also clear that Hannah still respects Igbo culture and many traditions. There is a telling moment in the text when the narrator describes how the European custom of cutting the cake at a wedding had been reinterpreted in Igbo culture. The idea was that the person who cut the cake first will be the senior partner. The day that Isaac Okonkwo and Hannah were married, Hannah cut the cake first. And you could see the interpretation of cake cutting in the wedding. Though Hannah and Isaac keep their children from most part of Igbo culture, Hannah was willing to secretly break her husband's decree when she realized that Obi was suffering at school because he had no knowledge of Igbo folktale. And then he taught Obi a lot of Igbo folktales. We also see a further evidence of Hannah's adherence to certain cultural customs the day she calls Obi to her bedside and explained that if he marries Clara, if Obi tried to get wedded to Clara, Hannah says she will commit suicide by killing herself. This is Obi's last interaction with Hannah. She dies shortly after that when Obi returns to Lagos. Another character is Isaac Okonkwo. Is Obi's father. Isaac Okonkwo is a Christian. He had left home at an early stage against the will of his father because he wanted to join the other Christians. Isaac's Christianity is the most important aspect of his life, and it colors most everything he does and says. Anybody who reads Things Fall Apart will recognize Isaac Okonkwo, who was called Moye before he converted to Christianity. It was the pastor or the missionary that changed his name from Moye to Isaac when he converted to Christianity in Things Fall Apart. And now he's no longer the child of Okonkwo here. He's now also a father to another person called Obi. So as a young man, Isaac Okonkwo left his father's house and became a Christian, severing his ties with his family and his heritage. As an older man, we see where that path has led Isaac to. Isaac's love for the written word bring glory to his family. When his son will be proved to be brilliant and becomes the top pick to go to Great Britain to go and study in the university. But despite his lifelong devotion to the church and his work as a catechist, Isaac Okonkwo has very little money in his old age, and he is dependent on his son, Obi. This doesn't make Isaac weak. However, he still has an option, and he surprises his son because despite his adherence to Christianity and his love for the written word, there are part of his cultural heritage for he has a great respect for. He never lets Obi disregard the tradition of Osu by marrying Clara. He refuses to be convinced that Obi's engagement to Clara is a good idea. Using his patriarchal authority, he tells Obi simply that he cannot marry Clara. And he does not budge. In our last glimpse of Isaac in the novel, he explained to Obi that he knows better than anyone what it means to be a Christian. And Obi cannot tell him that it is a Christian act to marry an Osu. That reminder has a double importance though. Isaac is also reminding his son that when he has decided something, when he has set his mind on a path, he does not give up. He is determined. Obi is either willfully blind, wishful, or simply lying when he tells Clara that his father will come around. The truth is, Isaac is just as stubborn now as he was in the day he left his father's house and joined Christianity in things fall apart. His will is iron. He will not bend. And he never bent till the end of the novel. Another character is Joseph Okeke. Joseph Okeke is Obi's friend and kinsman. He shows Obi the rope in Lagos before he leaves for Nigeria. Then shows Obi the rope again when he returns. Though Joseph may not be educated, he does understand his culture, and he tries to gently guide Obi on a path that will be mutually beneficial to everyone in Obi's life. Even though Obi abandons Joseph when he criticizes his decision to marry Clara, Obi remains a faithful friend. After Hannah Okonkwo's death, Joseph brings beer to Obi's apartment so that Obi can offer the traditional libation to the friends and family who come to mourn his mother's death. Joseph proved to be a faithful, wise friend to be. Another character is Christopher. Christopher is another of Obi's friend. We don't know much about Christopher except that he loves women and partying, going to club at all time. He provides a contrast to Obi because he finds it completely acceptable that women should use their bodies to bribe men in power, such as Obi, to give them favor. And Obi never accepts bribery of having sexual affair with a woman to favor them with the scholarship. Even when SCA provided Obi with her body, Obi refused. Even though Christopher seems thoroughly untraditional, in the end, Christopher also adheres to traditional Igbo culture and criticizes Obi's decision to pursue Clara. Unlike Joseph, however, Christopher waits until the relationship is over before he tells Obi what he really thinks, and what he thought was that Obi should not put himself in the trouble by getting married to somebody who is regarded as Osu. Another character is Mr. William Grimm. Mr. William Grimm is a civil servant. Is something of a contradiction. On the one hand, he doesn't seem to think much of modern Nigeria or modern Africans. Obi thinks that Mr. Grimm was incredibly hard for something he doesn't even believe in. Mr. Grimm seems to be a tragic figure, a very tragic figure in the novel. Somebody who works desperately for a country, believing in an idealized Africa that will never exist. Mr. Grimm probably doesn't know what Obi thinks. In fact, Mr. Grimm seems like the kind of boss who will take offense at Obi's assessment of him. After all, he is the one who tells Obi that if he has half a brain, he has a half brain and isn't lazy, he will do all right, and then turns around and tell his African administrative assistant that he is there to do what he is told, not what to think. So Mr. Grimm follows this up by backing at Obi to refer to him as Sir, when Obi simply called him Mr. Grimm. Since he is, after all, Obi's senior in the civil service. So Mr. Grimm is certain of one thing: all Africans are corrupt. But the narrator notes that in the end, Not even Mr. Green understands the corruption that happens in the civil service and in at large Africa. Another character is Miss Maria Tomlinson. Maria Tomlinson is Mr. Grimm's secretary. Young, pretty, and European. Maria becomes friends with Obi by criticizing Mr. Green and praising Clara. Obi succumbs to the flattery, yet, though Maria denigrates Mr. Green, she revealed that she thinks Mr. Green has a point when he suggests that educated Nigerians expect too many luxuries and privileges from a senior civil servant position. She doesn't seem to recognize the hypocrisy in her criticism. The privileges were originally created for Europeans who held the positions, and now Europeans are complaining that Africans who hold those same positions shouldn't have the same privileges. And that is another form of superiority complex occasioned by a form of neo-colonialism. So these are the eight characters we are going to be discussing we have discussed in the novel. There are other characters which we will also discuss them and upload them in due time. So remember to subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you get notified when the video on the other characters are uploaded, and also the video on the themes and literary devices used in the novel. Thank you and have a great day.